Hi, I'm Annie from Cobalt, and in my video today, I'm going to quickly walk through some inbound marketing strategy examples that will translate into happier lead prospects and a stronger bottom line sales impact for your organization. I want to look at two things. First, let's do a lightning fast recap of the high-level differences between inbound and outbound marketing, because the strategy you'll use for these are very different. And second, I want to show exactly how we implement an inbound marketing strategy example using Microsoft Dynamics 365 Marketing. If you're using Salesforce, HubSpot, Pipedrive, or some other CRM, you'll still be able to use our basic inbound marketing strategy example with your system, just with a couple of adaptations. Okay, so let's highlight the major differences in outbound versus inbound marketing. With outbound marketing strategies, you're trying to get the attention of people who are not actively looking for your product or service and convince them to notice what you have to offer. Billboards, cold calls and emails, direct mail, and most digital display advertising are all examples of outbound marketing channels. The basic strategy here is to cut through the noise of other advertising to reach people who could eventually become a lead prospect for your team. You cast a wide net, generate as much brand awareness as possible, and hope that enough leads get in touch or ultimately make a purchase to justify the cost of advertising. Inbound marketing is all about offering something valuable to prospects who are already demonstrating interest in a product or service, even if they aren't aware of your business yet. Inbound marketing channels can include things like a blog or a podcast on a topic that's closely related to something you sell, or building specialized landing pages on your website with targeted information related to something prospects are searching for on Google. Giving away an ebook with valuable content and information in exchange for contact information you can then use to follow up with lead prospects is a form of inbound marketing that you're probably familiar with. And that's still an effective example that I want to look at next, because your inbound marketing strategy needs to be more than just building a landing page in an ebook. Before we dive into one example of an inbound marketing strategy using D365 Marketing, I want to quickly orient ourselves. Organizations need to consider a couple of different things when creating an inbound marketing strategy. The first is guiding people through a certain process on your website, creating a curated experience for them. This includes creating a landing page with minimal navigation and embedding a form for you to collect their information. You want to make sure you use a form collection tool that's easy to use and has a seamless integration with your CRM. After all, these inbound leads are gold for your sales team. You don't want to miss any because of an integration hiccup. The second is creating a customer journey that people will flow through once they submit the form. It's important to create a journey with different paths based on interaction behavior. Sending a follow-up email with the same call to action when someone has already completed the call to action is confusing. Let's walk through how easy it is to do this with Dynamics 365 Marketing. We are now looking at the D365 Marketing Form Designer. When someone submits a form on your website, it will automatically create a lead, a contact, or both. You can see how easy it is to drag and drop elements into your form. You can add images, text, buttons, reCAPTCHA, etc., but more importantly, you can easily drag fields from your lead and contact records. This way, when someone submits a form, the lead and/or contact record will be created with these fields pre-populated. There are a ton of form templates that come with the basic fields already in the form, first name, last name, etc., but this is great if you have a custom field you want to add to the form. All of this can be done in 5 minutes with no HTML experience. Now, let's switch to the form settings. There are a lot of different options here, but I just want to concentrate on two. In the header, you can choose whether a form submission for this form will create a contact, lead, or both. In our example, people filling out the form want to download a white paper we've created. So we've decided we only want to create a contact record when this form is submitted. We don't want to create a lead yet. However, if this was the generic Contact Us form, we would most likely want to create a contact and a lead, because that would mean someone was directly reaching out asking about our product, service, etc. In that scenario, we definitely want to alert our sales team, and they can take care of the rest. But back to our white paper example. Part of creating an inbound marketing strategy is timing sales outreach. If your sales team jumps on the contact too soon, they may risk scaring the prospect away. We can always create a lead once we've confirmed they are interested, something we can determine by their future actions. The other thing I want to point out is the matching strategies. D365 Marketing provides default matching strategies, but you can always customize them or create new ones. These are important for ensuring we aren't creating duplicate data. For example, we have email address as a matching parameter for the contact. If someone submits a form and they enter an email address that is already associated with a contact record in the system, a new contact won't be created. The existing contact will just be updated if needed. For example, if someone's last name has changed. However, we will still create the new lead record. Now, here's my favorite part. When you create a form, you'll associate it with a website. You can associate the same form with multiple websites if needed. This is great if you have multiple websites that you want to feed into a single CRM. No need to recreate the same form 10 times over. Once you associate it with a website, it will spit out a script that you can then embed in a page on your website. The best part of this is if you update the form in D365 Marketing, that change will automatically cascade to the embedded page. You don't have to update mappings and integration, it just happens. This script will also track clicks made on your website. More on that in a bit. Once you have your script, you just need to embed it on a website page. Again, you want to use the landing page strategy. So be sure to use a page template with minimal navigation and only a single call to action. Here we have a WordPress site where we've embedded the form by using the shortcode block option. You set it once and never have to worry about it again. Now it's time to design the customer journey. This determines the nurturing flow that someone will go through when they download the white paper. Again, it's really important to create customer journeys that feel custom to the contact. We've all been there. You receive an email asking you to do something, you do it, and then you receive a follow-up email asking you to complete the same task. It's confusing and will also cause headaches for your support department. D365 Marketing makes it incredibly easy to design journeys based on behaviors or completed actions. Before I walk you through the journey, I want to quickly explain where we are right now. This is D365 Marketing's Customer Journey Designer. This is where you set up the journey framework. You specify who you want to be in the journey, what you want to send, and when you want to send it. The drag and drop designer is super intuitive, but it also allows for complex behavioral if-then statements and branching logic. Let's take a look at what I've built out here. The first part is super simple. When someone submits the white paper request form, we will send them an email with a link to the white paper. The next step is where it gets cool. I've added an if-then statement that splits the flow depending on if the contact clicks the link to the white paper. We will wait up to 3 hours for someone to click a link. If someone does click the link, we will send them a follow-up email with a link to a similar white paper. We want to keep the momentum up, so we'll send it an hour after they click the initial link. Then, if they click the link in that follow-up email, we're going to use the create a lead step. If a contact has interacted with 2 pieces of content, that's a really good sign. We want our sales team to give them a call to learn more information. However, if they don't interact with that alternate white paper, they'll exit the journey. Now, let's talk about what happens if the contact doesn't click the link in the initial email about the white paper. If the person doesn't click the link within 3 hours, we will send a different email with a different subject line, in case you missed it, with a link to the original white paper. The person might just need another notification in their inbox to click the link. If they do click the link in the follow-up email, we will send them through the same path as if they did click the link in the original email. If they still don't click the link in the follow-up email, they'll exit the journey. And that's it. Once you go live with the journey, new form submission contacts will begin to flow through it. You'll be able to see in-depth insights about your journey, who opened which email, when someone dropped out of the flow, etc. But before we close this out, I want to show you my favorite feature of D365 Marketing. Once someone submits a form, they become a known contact, meaning we can see all their past and future interactions with us. The interactions are broken out by category. For example, if I switch to the email interactions tab, I can see all of the email interactions we've had with this contact. If I switch to the web interactions tab, we can see each web page they've visited. This is amazing intel for your sales team. You can easily see which emails have piqued their interest and which web pages they've already visited. Stay tuned for a future video where we show how to roll all of this information into a single Power BI report, so you can understand which web pages result in the most form submissions. I hope you can see how Dynamics 365 Marketing can enable your team to build extremely effective marketing campaigns. These tools are built to create alignment between your sales and marketing teams, which ultimately results in ridiculously increased revenue. Our team at Cobalt is amazing at helping organizations maximize the Dynamics 365 platform. There's so much more you can do when you combine D365 Marketing with the rest of the Dynamics 365 stack. Click the links in the description below to learn more, or schedule a custom product showcase for your team today.